Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine. And recently we posted a video about the critical points or important points to keep in mind when doing a kote-gaeshi technique, when executing kote-gaeshi. And today in this video we want to have a closer look at the different options of a takedown that we have when we use the technique, when we apply the technique kote-gaeshi. So from the basic gentle going down to the ground and pins to the high fall projections. So let's have a look at a few variants that we could use. So let's start already with a very basic one that we usually use during demonstrations and when we want to pin the uke on the ground. And let's start maybe from Gyakute Dori for this demo. So for today's video we'll principally use Gyakute Dori. We might use another attack later on for some other takedowns, but let's start with a simple one. And it's not about really getting the technique now, but looking at the takedowns. So the first one is I open up here. I get the wrist of the uke in front of my center. And then I'm moving backwards, keeping the connection here, aligning with his hand, with his fingers. And here I want actually to redirect the movement towards his back, towards uke's back, hips, knees, and the feet. Okay, and then he goes down, and I have two possibilities of a pin. Down on the ground, I can pin using my leg here in standing, or I can descend and do the sitting pin here. Okay, so this is the basic takedown with the two possibilities of the pin. There is also this interesting variation of the kote-gaeshi technique especially when the uke is attacking with a knife, because in this case, so it will be a ski with a knife. I open up, and now normally I would go for the normal kote-gaeshi here behind and then roll down and do the takedown. But actually I can use a little motivation for the uke. I can motivate him to move back by moving the hand with the knife towards his face. So you can see that it works as well. So again, turning around now, the change with the knife is that instead of taking the elbow, I hold the wrist with my both hands, I turn him around. And then I control the knife, apply pressure on the hand to open up the fingers, and I can take away the knife, the tanto. Okay, but the interesting thing is that by moving towards the face, you can directly motivate the uke to escape the knife and go back and go down. Now we have a specific variation of the kote-gaeshi takedown for the katate dori. And because the katate dori grip here is the reversed one, so usually I'm coming with my right hand to the left hand and taking the hand from this side. Because on the katate dori attack, my right hand is already occupied. I need to take it with the left, so I do it in a reversed way. Okay, and then as I go down, or take down the uke, I move to the other side, and now the pin here is on the side. It's a bit different. I'm doing the pin against the knee of my leg, which is further away from the uke, controlling the elbow here. Okay, so this is one of the variations already, which is really dependent on the attack. Now, if we go back into Gyakute Dori, there is another way of doing the kote-gaeshi where instead of moving here behind the partner, I can actually enter closer, and maybe we'll turn a little bit to show it better towards the camera. So instead of opening up here, I can actually move with my other leg, enter towards the uke, and do the small spiral here. Okay, which will be also a way to take down the kote-gaeshi using the kote-gaeshi. And the uke can go down gently as Durward did right now, or he can do a high fall from this one. So here it's the uke who has the choice of going down or doing a high fall. So I started talking already about the high falls. So we'll explain the high fall. And actually before we go into high fall, I prepared a little gadget here, which is just an electric cable and extension. And this is to explain you the movement for the high fall of kote-gaeshi, right? What is happening actually. So imagine that you are mowing your lawn and you have an object that you want to pass the cable on the other side. And the cable is long. I mean, it's a certain length here, but usually it's longer when you're working in your garden. And what is the most commonly used way to pass the cable on the other side of an object. You will not walk there and pass it over. You will just try to make this spiral movement, send a kind of wave through the length of the cable, which would bring it over on the other side of the object, right? So we create this kind of wave, which makes a spiral movement, which follows the cable. Okay, so I put the cable to the side now. And actually, the kote-gaeshi high fall projection is based on the same principle. So I want to make a movement here on the wrist, which will send a wave through Uke's body so that his feet, which are on the other end, like the other end of the cable, so that his feet pass on the other side, like going above an object, okay? So when we start here, again, I prepare for the kote-gaeshi, and now actually I want to put a bit more energy into the movement and think about the whole body, that I'm not just working on the wrist here, small and so on, but I take the whole body, including the feet, okay, and the feet go over. So this would be the normal high fall for kote-gaeshi, the standard one. And actually, if you want to see how to prepare for this kind of high fall, we did a video recently, we published a video recently, where we explained the high fall, forward high fall while looking backwards, because it's actually the same thing here. It's like for the iriminage, shihonage, kote-gaeshi is very similar. So I get the uke moving here forward, I reverse, so kote-gaeshi means reverse, and actually he has to do a forward fall, but sorry, but behind his back. Okay, so he has to turn around and follow this movement. So there is a video on our channel already which explains the high fall for the uke, how to practice it on your own before you even get into practice with a partner. And then there is the last one, last variation that I would like to cover today, that we would like to cover today. Personally, I find this one very fun. We don't do it often in our dojo. I was doing it more when I was training before in another dojo with another sensei. But here actually, after this opening, I want to do a high fall, but I don't go here close with this little spiral movement, but I open up a bit more. I draw Durward more into the movement. I do a bigger step, and actually I send him away a bit further out. So it would look like this. Okay, and I can control him during this fall, or I can even let go, just send him into the movement and let go so that he can fly, he can do his roll. It's a bit longer fall or flight before the fall. I find it personally fun exactly because of this flight, because the standard one you do it more in place, almost in place, the roll over. Here you are really covering some distance. And the last bonus hint, and I find it useful when training with people who are not used to taking high falls yet, who are not very confident, and I want to control them more so that they don't hurt themselves when going down, before they get used to it and at ease with these falls. So actually here, normally we work on the wrist, right, on the hand. So we go on the fingers, we can go on the wrist from the side for the high fall if you want to add some energy to initiate the jump and the spin. But what I like to do sometimes is also going on the forehand here, close to the elbow. And this allows me actually to have a better control in flight here. So draw the uke really in, even doing it more slowly. When I do it on the hand, I can do it that slow as I did it now. When I go on the forearm here, controlling a bit better, having a better leverage between the wrist and the elbow, it allows me actually to really draw the uke in, pull him back, and turn his body around. So I hope you liked this. You can share with us in the comments if you have any other variations of kote-gaeshi takedowns that you practice. It would be nice to know, nice to see. Maybe you can also link some other videos showing it. And hope to see you again in another video soon.